All right, welcome everybody. Just got confirmation that we are recording, so we can save the webinar to our YouTube channel afterwards. We will also send the link to the video around to everyone, so you can share the webinar with your team if you like, or if there's something that you want to revert back to, you can. So thank you everybody for joining us this afternoon. I'm Christy Demir, co-director of Seed HR. At Seed, we love supporting businesses and offering expert HR advice and services, but we also love giving practical advice and partnering with other experts, which is why we've started this webinar series. Before I introduce to you our expert, I'll just quickly run through some housekeeping. So the session will run for about 45 minutes to an hour. And I know that it's lunchtime, so please feel free to eat your lunch as we go.
I pressed the wrong thing.
If everyone can keep themselves on mute, that will just allow us to minimise the background noise. But of course, if you've got something you want to share or a question you want to ask, you can take yourself off mute. There will be an opportunity to ask questions at the end. However, if a question does come up, feel free to pop it in the chat, and that way you won't forget about it if you want to wait till later, and then I'll monitor the chat as we go along. And feel free to use the emoji reactions if something that has been said resonates with you, or you want to react to it. So now I have the absolute pleasure of introducing you all to the incredible Stacey Edmonds. Now, Stacey, I know I've only met you twice, but I know you and Esther have known each other a long time. Stacey is a social scientist, a GenAI creator and AI ethicist who helps people and organisations navigate AI and cyber safety with confidence and integrity. As a partner at Deloitte and Korn Ferry, she's shaped innovative digital strategies for some of the world's largest organisations, cementing her reputation as a thought leader in AI ethics and the future of work. She's also the creator of the app Fishy or Not. It's a cybersecurity platform designed to build genuine threat instincts. She's also known for her live deepfake demonstrations and no jargon style. She's represented MasterCard's GenAI and deepfake safety campaign and is an internationally recognised keynote speaker and awards judge. So we're so grateful to have you here today to share your knowledge and your expertise. So without any further ado, I'd love to hand over to you, Stacey.
Oh, thanks, Christy. Oh, wow, look at this. Oh,
look at that.
Awesome.
There she is.
It's so lovely to be here. And it's so lovely to be here with you all in this week of Scams Awareness Week as well, which is perfect timing. The cunning plan for today, if you fancy it, is a bit of a whirlwind tour. I say that, we're going to do it anyway, whether you fancy it or not. Surprise! A whirlwind tour of generative AI, what's happening. We've done a bit of deep faking of Christy, because why wouldn't you? And then really explore, as we're going to do some stories, we're going to play a game, we're going to, so this is it. Any questions, just call them out, raise your hand, pop them into the chat. And I don't know, we're going to start with a little bit of something which is quite engaging and see what you think. It's a little bit out there. Now, if the video is buffering for you, I'm just going to put the link in the chat so you can play it locally if that's easier. So I've put the link to what we're about to watch in the chat. Did that come through?
It has come through, yes.
Perfect. Well, don't everybody, wait. So I'm going to share my screen, and we have tested this, and as a digital specialist, nothing ever goes wrong. So why would it go wrong ever?
I spin fellas, my swing quicker than Federer. I serve packing the bags back on a regular. And I'ma tell her how she sing for me T-Pain. Your mama's hooked on the packs, I'll be selling her. I click M's and bang 'em and I'm not saying. I feel his head with the lead like a mukbang. The magazine made me lean when I walk, and the drumstick will make a head bang like a punk band. Hop in the cab, I'm banging me crossword up. Head in the west and I'm banging a push bird. Couple of cans and a puff on me death stick. Click on my fingers, he's cutting me cough dead. Ringing the bow bells, bringing the webs there. I'm flinging the dry food, bringing the cassette there. there. Belling me non-stop, sending the lads there. Hopping me drop top, I'm running a man day. Mr. Big Bucks, I be looking at business. Stressed to kill, mama got me up on a Rick list. Pole position, had a fella running the distance. I be banging, giving the triplets. The bigger the bag, the bigger the butt crack. The bigger the chance the birds up in my contacts. The figure's a big deal, a pen on the contract.
Just going to stop that sharing. I know many of you are very excited about that. Okay. So has anybody here seen that level? Has anyone seen the Dawn Brothers yet? No? Dimity, is that Dimity saying no? No. So that's about a year and a half. Thanks, Chantel. That's about a year and a half old now. And so when we're talking about, and we're doing a conversation about how are you using generative AI in your business and what are you doing, what's happening across the industry in film, in people trying to protect their likeness, their voice, their data, who they are. Let's not get started on the meta glasses. What an absolute disaster. Did anyone get a pair from Kmart? I hear they were $89. Bargain. I'm still trying to think, I don't know about you, but I'm still trying to think of a positive use case. What is the positive use case other than collecting everybody's data and being able to deep fake all of us? So that's what's happening in the land of film. Now, what's happening in being able to create, let me share a different screen. Though it does end on there, which is a little bit awkward.
Yes. It's a very full-on picture to end on.
It's full on, isn't it? It's a bit full on. So this is what we do. This is Lively if you want to see what we do. Generative AI and really the human side of AI. But the point of having this conversation in what you're doing now is how is it being used in your business? What's happening in your business? So for those of you, can you raise your hand if you are using AI in work, you're using Copilot. The people using Copilot. Who have we got? Anyone using, Claude, ChatGPT, any Perplexity, all the sort of frontier models. Anyone gone to China yet? Is anyone here? Here's the next question. Of all those tools, are they all enterprise? Are they all an enterprise membership? Or are they free? So that's the big question. And the other question is, if people in your business are frustrated by the AI, cool. Yeah, thanks, Hope. Work, yes, personal paid. Copilot, yes, Claude's free. Brilliant. We all know the underlying issue is the data and who you're giving your data to. You might be using your Copilot at work and it's great and it's integrated into your systems. Step one is who has access to what and how. And so that's why I think I got talking to Esther and the team at Seed, which was how is that implementation happening? How does it look? How are we keeping that safe? At the same time, as we are all putting an enormous amount of data into the ether. So we're all putting an enormous amount of data into the ether. At the same time, and I'll say this openly, criminals love generative AI. It is the gift that keeps on giving. You don't need to know how to write a scam in every language. There are no spelling mistakes. You don't need to know, whether what you're saying is right. The social engineering scripts for sextortion and romance scams are all on the dark web. I spend quality time on the dark web. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? But I actually work with a cyber partner, so I don't go on my own. But I actually met I downloaded, I've read the 170-page guide to sextortion. I've bought ransomware as a service. So what happened to my dentist, and this is a really big issue for small, medium businesses. So 1 in 4 of cybercrime reports last year who were hurt were small, medium enterprises, because we don't have the protection of the large organizations, right? So I was at my dentist last year, I'm doing this one, and she's she's lovely. And she tells me the story that they were ransomwared, and all the patient data is sitting. I'm like, what you mean, like my patient data, like my teeth are sitting, And she said, yes. I said, marvelous. They lost $48,000. They had no choice after 2 weeks but to pay the $48,000 to the ransomware agents. And here's the plot twist, but wait, it gets better or worse. Depends on how you look at it. The customer service was excellent because it's ransomware as a service. And one of the large banks I work with actually said to me, they're taking top tips from ransomware as a service because the customer service is so excellent. So the scam's finished, they've paid the $48,000, and then the scammers then give my dentist instructions on what to do so that it doesn't happen again. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. Sometimes my sense of humor is so dark because it's utter ridiculousness of what's happening in the ether. But seriously, she sat there, I'm doing this one, asking her questions, and she's telling me this story. And at the end, she literally said, but it was okay because in the end, they helped us. So that's what we're looking at. And we're looking at, I think it was 2025. Yeah, the average cost of a ransomware situation was $56,000.
Oh,
Now,
big dollars.
It's
big dollars. Yeah.
It's big dollars. Now, so the question is, so we've got generative AI is happening. We can deep fake everybody, do that now. Everything that we're creating then is going into the ether. And the number one threat to any business is still the human factor. It is still the human at the other end being socially engineered to transact money, click on a link, give information. It's still the number one issue. And for those of you who have been in corporate, I'm a teacher, youth worker, social worker by trade, and ended up in corporate Australia for 15, 20 years. But it's like we're going to send you a phishing email in your email and then decide whether you click on it or not. And then if you do click on it, we're going to send you to learning as a punishment. That's not, for those of you who do learning and development, and all of us here interested in humans, that's not how we're going to build capability in a real world for our children and especially our parents. Those of you who, like me, or who are in the sandwich generation, who you're trying to keep your parents safe and your children safe, and you're kind of sandwiched in the middle at the same time. So I thought what we could do now is, I know it's kind of an emotional roller coaster, to be honest, because some things are fun and some things are scary. Seems to where I spend my life. Now, have I got my page yet? We need this one. I've got lots of screens open for you. Can you all see Christy? Awesome. So this is how he's, yeah, there are you. So what all I did was, we have lots of different avatars. It's called Hey Gen. It's $40 a month. So I got your photo off LinkedIn. Very nice. But I don't need to keep you here.
Wrong. Hello. What a great day. We are having, learning about how we can deepfake our colleagues, family, and friends. What could possibly go wrong? Hello. What a great day we are having, learning about how we can deepfake our colleagues, family, and friends. What could possibly go wrong?
Why, thank you for that message, Christy. But I thought, why keep you in the outfit? I can put you somewhere else, because we can just put you in.
What a lovely day to deepfake. What could possibly go wrong? Hello. What a lovely day to deepfake. What could possibly go wrong?
I can put you in any outfit. in any place at any time.
How scary.
This Arup, really large business, so obviously it's going to get hit up, and it's going to get hit up in really sophisticated ways. But this is coming. It's only a matter of time before you've got real-time deep fake people making calls in Teams to you. It's just a matter of time. So what actually happened was, I don't know if you, Arup, large engineering firm, they built the Opera House. And what they did, it was originally a phishing test. So the CFO gets an email to say, hey, can you transfer this money? And the CFO is thinking, no, that's a scam. Seems a little bit dodgy. So what they do is they invite the CFO to a Teams call like today. And instead of seeing people, they see people who are real-time deep-faked CEO and people in their team. So there are 4 people being real-time deep-faked. So real-time deep-faking just takes 2 devices and a little bit of code that you can learn on the internet from a 12-year-old probably, and on TikTok. This is not hard to real-time deepfake. So I real-time deepfake my mum on WhatsApp. And I real-time deepfake my mum on WhatsApp as my brother. And I'm chatting away to her and I'm having a lovely time. And I'm thinking, I don't know. My mum's always told me she doesn't have a favourite, but after talking to her as my brother, I think she might. I think actually she might have a favourite. So, but she had no idea. She had no idea at all. And that took me half an hour to learn. Now, I'm a little bit techie, but not that. I just followed the instructions from the children. Now, so what actually happened was, and look at this poor guy, the CISO. I mean, he's really gutted. So what happened was he said, look, we need you to move 25 million over the next week to these 5 accounts. And he made 15 transactions and moved $25 million. It's what's known as spear phishing as well. So those are your EAs, your CFOs, particularly in difficult, and anyone working in your finance team. Now, I think sometimes, and I think is a really good point here, and that he makes, which is around the technology and the cyber buzzwords and phishing and smishing and quishing and all the other wishings, and deep fakes and malware and ransomware. And in the grand scheme of life, universe, and everything, this is basic social engineering. For those of you who remember getting the letter in the post saying from the Nigerian prince that you've won loads, it's the same tactics. It's just in a different format. So the social engineering tactics were used in a letter, then they were used in an email, then they were used in a text, then they were used in WhatsApp, Facebook ads. So here's it. So a quiz. How much money do you think Facebook made in 2025 on scam ads? So these are people who are scammers and they're paying for ads to be on Facebook. How much money in 1 year do you think Meta made? Anyone up for a guess in the chat? Bit higher than that, Chantel. But yeah, 1 billion. So 1 billion, 1 billion, 1 billion. Have we got more than 1 billion? Feel like I'm at an auction. What am I selling off? I'm selling off scam ads, scam ads, scam ads. They're going. 16 billion. 16 billion. They know. It's a revenue model. And so we've got the tactics that are being used on your employees and you as a customer and at home, as a member of the community and at work. Sextortion has increased 400% in the past year. And that is a combination of those of you, it's extortion really, of targeting mainly young women, young men mainly, but young women, to say, look, hi, I'm going to chat, I'm going to send you a photo of myself, you send me a photo of you, it's a little bit racy, I'm now going to threaten you, you have to give me money or I'm going to share it all over the internet. That's risen by 400%. Why? Because they can pretend to be anyone. And they can pretend to be anyone in a real-time chat. So it's not like, oh, I'm just sending a photo now. It's I'm having a real conversation with you. And so number one is, are we aware this technology exists and how does it look? What does that then mean if we know that generative AI is being used for evil as well as good? How do we work out what is real and what is not? And what impact does it have on your business on a daily basis? So for those of you in the chat now, how many of you are protecting your organization with, say, phishing tests to teach your people how to not get socially engineered? Is anyone doing that? Paul, you're rolling them out. Brilliant. I'm assuming that's in email. Just going to turn that off again. In email. The social engineering tactics that are out in the world, you've got this flurry of activity as you as a business. So you're using your AI, people are using Claude or ChatGPT at home. I would say guaranteed someone is using it and it's in a free or a pro model subscription. So you're not quite sure where your data is. Does everybody here have a policy around how to use generative AI at work and at home, how to protect people? Because it's what people might not be saying. Because I know, guaranteed, I know 3 of my friends who are saying, Copilot is terrible, so I do the work at home in Claude and then I send it to myself. So is that happening for you? What's your insurance? What's your insurance against being socially engineered? What does that look like? What's for the biggest risk? And how capable and aware are your people in the technology that's actually out in the world and what they can create really quickly and easily and cheaply? But on the flip side, is there anywhere where you can use HeyGen and all those other tools to create awesome marketing and learning videos for all of your team and your customers? So, so that's the positive use case, which is amazing. So what we thought we'd do now is play a game. We've done some stories. We're going to play a game now. We did HeyGen, we did Heading Your Way, we've done stats. We know the Door Brothers, which is always very exciting. And let me share my screen again. Whilst we're here and just doing this, does anyone have any questions? I'm going to open my window.
I have one. That's 16 billion. Was that in 1 year?
In 1 year.
You and Mama. Oh.
And they have a section of that 16 billion who are the scammiest of scammers. So they know that there are scammers who are really good scammers. They're the scammiest of scammers. Now, then they also have a section of around about 5% where they're not sure. They could be scammers. So what they do with those is they charge them more to make more money from those people they're not sure about. And so the regulation, as we know, around social media and the messaging in social media, it is not protected at all. I was quite interested actually because I went to the Festival of Dangerous Ideas this weekend, which was marvelous. And a lot of the concepts was around how do we how do we secure our data? How do we secure our people, our children, our families, our communities? But also, how do we create a cohesive understanding of how we're going to operate in a world where these models and the business models and the systems are changing daily? I don't know about you if you're using Claude, but that updates daily. They ship that daily, or then take it off the market. I did a podcast a couple of weeks ago with Startup 360 and talked about digital transformation. And those of you in the business, you've been doing digital transformation and bringing new technologies into your companies for years. But we used to actually check that it worked before we shipped it. We used to have terms and conditions that didn't change every 3 minutes. We used to have a subscription, or we'd buy a product that we knew how that was going to work for the next year. So how do we as a business, I mean, I'm using AI for business all of the time, but I think in the future, I think what's going to happen is we will have our own open source AI models sitting in our businesses, because we cannot, how can we rely on frontier open source models or build on top of that if it's constantly changing and you can't trust it? And so that's an interesting shift. And also the models coming out of China are much cheaper. So this is going to be an interesting time. What we do need to be aware of is the reuse of our data, how that data is being used. Where does the data sit in your organization? Who has access to that data? And is it being uploaded into a model somewhere? Now, this is a very difficult. So what happened was, I've been working in learning and development in organizations for years, noticed we weren't really teaching the skills of critical thinking and social engineering, which are essential to using generative AI and keeping safe at the same time. So I'm working at that intersection space an awful lot, because it's that difference between we're just going to ship everything and it's fine, but it's really not safe. Like we would just release, So it's up to you. It's up to you. We're going to play. So this is fishy or not. Now you may recognize. So I'll play this, and you need to decide whether the messaging in this video is fishy or not. Who's ready? All right, we're ready. Let's go.
Have you seen this? Every worker can get $1,000 instant tax deduction next financial year. And we've just taken the steps to lock it in.
What do we reckon? You want to type it in the chat? Fishy or not? Fishy or not?
Yeah,
We've got not fishy, not fishy, not fishy. Good. Yeah, not. We've got a fishy. We've got a not. BB, LOL. Love it. Okay. In this one, it is actually those saying we do have a verified account and they're not asking us to do anything. Think about your communication and how you communicate via text and email and telephone. Are you putting any signs into your email or text that people might perceive as scammy? Because if they perceive it as scammy, they're ignoring you. See what I mean? It happens a lot. We put in we were doing a demo with ING Bank, and they've been working with us on their Scam Week and everything. And we put their own marketing material into the game, and 90% of people thought it was a scam, even their own marketing team. And then, so what we've got some top tips, some top safety tips before we go to Q&A. So I'll go here, Windows. So what I thought I'd do, because since we're talking Gen AI, is make a nice Gen AI tool for you. Things that will stop the money leaving your business. So let's look. Make sure all your AI, whatever you're using, is on a business account. If you're using AI personally, go and turn off anything that says that any data you're putting in there is shared with the model. Because we don't know what these businesses are going to do in the future. What we do know is that this week, a book dealer, a rare book dealer, sold 1,000 books and thought it was a bit weird. So they put an air tag into where, so their books ended up with Amazon somewhere in Texas, where they basically ripped all the books apart and ingested them into AI. There are no ethics. I do ethics section. I do ethics talks, and I just start with, there are none. None of them. There are no ethics. Claude did that in the first place. Hundreds of thousands of books ripped apart. They don't even save the books. So just make sure you know where your data is and who owns it. What's on your phone. Oh, the other thing is on your mobiles, if you've got iPhones, have you all turned off Apple Intelligence? If you haven't turned off Apple Intelligence, currently your phone is using everything you do to train their AI. Have a guide, work with Seed, put your page together. If you don't have a guide or a rule, your staff have already written their own. What are the approved tools? What never gets pasted? Who to ask? Make it open. Ask the silly questions. Don't. Oh, and New South Wales Gov have got some really good stuff online about just governance and how to go about it. If at any point anyone in a WhatsApp, in a Teams, wants to change bank details, make any urgent payment requests, call back on the number you held. You have to call back on the number you had before that request, not the one in the email. Always call, never make. I think we've saved with the Australian Institute of Conveyancers by basically practicing this in the game. We've saved 4 houses so far. Do not ever change back. Always give them a call. And that's a process. That's a free process. No one's going to get in trouble for making that call. Just put it as that's what you do. Ring your insurance broker. So for those of you like my dentist, the question you need to ask is, does my policy cover social engineering fraud? So if someone fishes me and gets my details and then ransomwares me for 48 grand, am I doing what I need to do to be covered for my insurance? What you need to be doing is, you can play fishy or not. That covers you all for insurance in a way that's interesting. The reason why I've designed it like I have is because you can take it home. So instead of calling it just compliance, it becomes an employee benefit. So what we're doing with many of our organizations is they give it to their employees. The employees then take it home and play with their family. They're building the language and the question to have a non-shame conversation, which is, it's not, have you been scammed, mum, dad, have you been scammed, but is that fishy or not? Is it, do you know what I mean? Is there something about this doesn't feel right? And the number one thing is, if you don't think it feels right, don't do anything. Don't do anything. Talk to someone and ask the question. And what we do is we just put it all into the game, so you get to play it before you live it. So the first time your CFO gets a real-time deep fake is not in real life. Okay, so the skill is, you can put them into place, and it's the decaying and it's the constant changing. So what I'm seeing every single day, so we go onto the dark web and I buy all the new scams. So scammers don't just sit there and go, oh, that's great, that's a really good scam. They go, what's the calendar this year? We'll do the ATO scams, the Valentine's Day, Christmas, every holidays in every time. It used to be that you could roll out learning, and that would be a skill. That skill really needs to be worked on all of the time. Yeah, so I thought it was super cute. Look at this. I thought it was really cute. I popped it into Claude and said, I'm doing this thing, make a nice little click through that we can do as a resource, as a takeaway for everybody. Because, you know, why not? That was my thing. So I just need to pop over here to stop sharing. And hopefully that has given some insights and some information. Is there a scanner we can use? to see where our data is. I know there are business. Yes. So lots of cyber companies now, like if you've got Nord in the same way for personal Nord that says this is where your data is, has it popped up on the dark web? I got a little message this morning from Nord that basically says, where has it been breached? I was like, no. I think it's one of the well-being sites, it's hair and makeup thing. It says your data's been breached. See what your data is. 2 million records of this has just been released onto the dark web today. So personally, have I been pwned? You can type your own email in and see whether you're all over the dark web. From a business perspective, yes, businesses are now offering, and if you've got a managed service or a cyber business, they can say, okay, let's go out and see where your data is and what that looks like. In your business, I suppose that's around governance. Like, where do you keep your customer data? Is it in a spreadsheet or is it in a CRM?
Anybody else have any other questions for Stacey?
Would you like us to send you the little 5-point guide?
Yes, please.
Yeah, right. We'll do that. Cool. Okay. I can do that. I can send you the links that we used today. I can send you a link to what we're doing. It's the conversation. The conversation is everything. I think because it's so in the ether. Everyone's like, doing this. It's a very personal experience. And if you do have teenagers, or young people, I mean, I'm working with a social media ban, your parents, what's happening is the personalization due to generative AI and the ability to pretend to be anyone at any time, the reduction of being able to understand or even know what is real or what is fake, what is fishy or what is not, is only going to ramp up. And in good news,
there is definitely a lot of us in that sandwich generation, as you referred to as well, sort of looking after yourself and your employees, but then also your parents and your children. Yeah.
The impact if one of your employees is scammed at home. I'm working with organizations where people have, it's decimating not only their family and their home, but it's having an impact at work.
Of course.
In the same way as well-being, all other well-being pieces. And then there's the link between, there has been one instance where a young man was working for a Big Four and they sextorted him, but as part of the sextorted was, we want information from your business.
Oh, right. Yeah. And I think just as you identify a risk, that risk then changes and becomes smarter and more intelligent and harder to detect, doesn't it?
Yeah, so we've got the machines working against the machines, but in the end, it's us.
Stacey, do you want to tell people how they can access and purchase the app from a business perspective as well as a personal perspective? I think that'd be really useful.
Yeah, so if you we're really straightforward. We're a business, as a social enterprise. We do B2B. So you say we want these licenses, we need these licenses. It's a number of licenses. It's $34 per person per year. You can offer it as for your employees. If you run the game mandatory once a year, you're covered from your insurance perspective, but also you can run a campaign internally. It's a really straightforward process to access the game. And then if you want, you can offer the game for children to your employees' children. And we don't hold any personal identifiable information on those licenses. They're only $6 per child per year. And then we, as part of your subscription, then we offer free licenses to vulnerable communities like the Literacy for Life Foundation or local libraries. And then librarians have been going through the process of upskilling those people using the libraries. So that's been really useful. And if you need any assistance in working out, I created a quiz on staceyedmonds.ai. I created a sort of like, are you ready for generative AI quiz, and just some of the questions you could be asking yourselves in the business. So I can send that to you as well. It's just a bit of a, are we thinking in the right way? Yeah, so contact me anytime. And yes, it's very exciting at the same time. And hey, Jen, you can get a free trial. So enjoy.
Enjoy. So I don't think there are any other questions. Is that right?
No, I don't think so. Not in the chat.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much for your time, Stacey. We appreciate your expertise and also making the webinar so engaging. I hope everyone was able to get something meaningful from the session, and we will send out a link with the video so you can always watch it again or share it with your team. So yes, thank you very much. We are continuing our Small Business Mastery webinar series, with our next one to be confirmed in the coming weeks. So we'll send that around to everybody as well. So thanks again, Stacey, and thanks everyone for joining today. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Stacey.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Can stop recording. Stop. There we go.